President Donald Trump signed a new executive order last night to impose a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports into the United States with no exceptions or exemptions. Let's bring in former Indianapolis Mayor Greg Ballard now with a closer look at what this means. Mr. Mayor, first off, good to see you again and good to have you in studio.
Thanks. I love coming to Channel 8. I hope to continue to do it.
No doubt. We'd love to have you. So President Trump says this is going to be good for the economy. Some economists disagree. What say you?
I think the corporate world might have a little bit of a different opinion, because if there's retaliatory tariffs against us, for instance, somebody wants to import a quarter of our steel.
Right.
So if we import steel from another country and it costs 25% more than it otherwise, well, the Ford Motor Company probably thinks that's not a bad thing. The cost of the car would go up. They might become a little non-competitive in that point, might lay some people off, that sort of thing. So if you get retaliatory tactics from other countries, maybe not so much.
And who, obviously, the consumer is caught in the middle of all of this, right?
Absolutely. So, because you don't know where it's going to go. Of course, you know, with the current president, he says something one day and then comes back.
Yeah.
Right? We had Canada and Mexico going to have tariffs, and now all of a sudden they don't have them anymore. A pause for 30 days. So you don't really know what's going to happen. The difference in that one, though, and we have to understand what's going on here, is it wasn't a pause for something really trade related. He was kind of using it as a blunt hammer to get something on fentanyl and illegal immigration, something that's kind of unseen when you're dealing with tariffs. So don't know really where it's going to go.
Historically, do tariffs work?
It's better with free trade. There's always some tariffs, but it's usually minimal, targeted for protection of an industry or just to raise some revenue for other countries. But it's not usually used as an instrument of I'm bigger than you. And I think we have to be really careful for that. But generally speaking, they work in a smaller scale.
Do you think these are specifically going to work in regards to what he's trying to do?
I think these are blunt instruments to get leverage for something else.
Okay.
And I don't think the other countries of the world, especially our allies, are going to stand for 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Speak to that a little bit more. Do you foresee them hitting us back?
I do.
Yeah.
If we stick with that, I absolutely do. And that could have devastating consequences for a lot of our industries. I mean, tariffs tend to be protectionist anyway on some level, but it's usually minimal. Like I say, protecting some little niche or something, or just a little 5%. But it's not usually like this. So the retaliation that may be coming our way might be rather dramatic, and it could be something like pharmaceuticals, or something like chips and things like that could really be devastating for our economy.
Obviously, you know, we've talked over the years. We talked during his first administration.
Right.
I know we're only a couple months in here. What do you think we're going to see over the next couple of years?
Well, just on tariffs or other things, we don't really know, because every day is different. For instance, he did tariffs in 2018, 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum. Didn't really work out very well.
Right.
So on the tariffs, I just don't think. I think he's looking for something else. I think he's looking for leverage. So I think the good term is flooding the zone. He's got so many issues going on at one time that people can't really keep up with it right now.
It's a lot, right?
It's a lot, and so I think the tariffs are kind of mixed into that, but I think they'll be sorted out within the next month or so. I hope so.
I mean, we're almost out of time, but a lot of people say, hey, listen, this is just like another tax, right? I mean, it's like anything else where, you know, it's going to fall down to the consumer. So how do you make that argument if you're standing by him and you're then trying to argue against taxes?
It does result in tax, and it can be used against us just as we're doing it to them. And right now we're saying we're the big dog and we can get away with this. That's not going to play over the long term.
Yeah, it only lasts so long.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Mayor, good to see you as always.
Thank
you
you
very much for coming into the studio. We look forward to maybe having future discussions.
I hope so, Phil. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care.